Good evening and welcome to Tyler Carlin Tonight. Brace yourself tonight because it's worse than you thought. As the Trump administration keeps waving the Epstein scandal into the memory hole, Wired just dropped a grenade into their storyline. According to Wired, metadata embedded in the video and analyzed by Wired, an independent video forensics expert showed that rather than being a direct expert from the prison surveillance system, the footage was modified, likely using the professional editing software Adobe Premiere Pro. The file appears to have been assembled from at least 2 source clips, saved multiple times, exported, and then uploaded onto the DOJ's website where it was presented as raw footage. So when Pam Bondi's DOJ told us that it was raw surveillance footage proving Epstein killed himself, that certainly doesn't seem to be able to support its own weight. So in other words, the Department of Justice handed us a deepfake and called it gospel. So they're basically peddling a Frankenstein reel as real raw footage. And that missing 60-second jump cut, the missing minute that jumps from 11:58 p.m. to 12 a.m., well, that's the magic minute when history got deleted. But here's what twists the knife. The MAGA superfans, the people who spent years chanting "release the list," are finally turning their pitchforks towards Trump, Bondi, Patel, and Bongino. Turns out when he promised Judgment Day and deliver a jump scare, even cultists feel scammed. Watch.
Do you believe that DOJ and FBI right now, with the guys who are all close to Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, do you think they have any credibility left to pursue this?
No, and I'll tell you exactly why, Steve, because in 2016, we trusted the plan with Trump, but now Trump has become the deep state. The exact thing we voted him in.
Why do you say he's become the deep state?
What is more deep state than covering up for pedophiles? Why would you go to that island? Why? Tell me, why would you go to that island?
It's insulting our intelligence. Like, obviously the intelligence community is trying to cover it up. Obviously the Trump administration is trying to cover up. Something changed because they ran on this idea of exposing it all. All these guys had great ideas. Cockeyed Cash, Dan Bongino.
He had clips, dog. He had bars.
He was ready to tear it all down. He was ready to tear down the entire FBI office.
Shut down the Hoover building day one.
Day one.
That bitch still standing.
And then he goes on Joe Rogan and he's like, listen, do you think if I had it, I wouldn't share it with you?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I do believe that 100%, especially when you're staring at me like this, telling me that.
How cockeyed is he? You've said this a few times. Can we get a photo of him really quick?
Once you protect pedophiles, you are the most cockeyed person in the entire world. I never called him cockeyed Cash before this.
He couldn't see all the other people raping the children. He could only see Epstein.
He's just staring at the bridge of his nose. Like, I don't see anything over here. I watched all 3,000 hours of footage.
Yo, maybe I'm wrong on this, but you keep talking about this Epstein. They keep talking about this Epstein list. I got the list on my desk. Now they're saying nothing happened. So one of two things, in my mind, is possible. One, you're covering it up. Or two, nothing really happened, and you exploited the rape of thousands of children to get your man elected. So which one do you want here?
The timing of it,
come on,
just seems...
Come on.
It seems like I'll take how do we get the attention off of Epstein for 500, please, Alex.
I hope this story breaking today isn't just a cover story or diversion from the giant fiasco with the FBI and DOJ doing a 180 on Epstein.
So that's it? No client list? Epstein killed himself? No further investigations? Case closed?
Hey, we're going to do an investigation. Now, we can't tell you about the investigation because it's under investigation, so we can't actually talk about the investigation of the people that are being investigated, but they're under investigation.
We don't rise and fall with Trump. We need him. It's a historic thing that's happening. But that said, I'm not breaking my integrity or my morals or what I stand for nobody.
Those voices you just heard, they're not Antifa trolls, they're Trump's ride-or-die keyboard army, now screaming, "You covered up for pedophiles," and they're right to feel betrayed, because Pam Bondi strutted on Fox News in February, bragging that the Epstein client list was sitting on my desk. She invited right-wing influencers to the White House, handed them prop binders, stamped Epstein files phase 1, and then promised tens of thousands of videos. And what do we get? A DOJ memo that says, "No list, no murder, the case closed, move along, you'll eat what's for dinner, and you won't ask any questions. Ask why," and Trump labels it a desecration. Watch.
You still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration.
How dare anyone resurrect the scandal of your cabinet built their brands on? Notice the pattern. Boast, dangle, and vanish. Kash Patel, Bongino once screamed Epstein conspiracy theories from every podcast rooftop. Put them in charge and suddenly Epstein killed himself. Files are classified. Stop being weird. They think you're stupid. They really do. Watch.
You said Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide. People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file.
They are lying to you. Look at their faces. What's worse, we now know that there's been internal fighting about this disaster. According to Axios today, Bongino and Bondi had a heated clash at the White House over their handling of the Epstein case. Bongino was reportedly so angry he took the day off from work today, with some reporting suggesting that he's considering even resigning over the Epstein fallout. Sources say that he was increasingly displeased with Bondi's handling of the Epstein case because she had publicly overpromised and underdelivered. That's what happens when your own propaganda loop strangles itself. The administration promised transparency and delivered deception. They pledged to drain the swamp and instead became the toxic sludge of the swamp itself. So let's stop lying to ourselves. The Trump administration promised transparency, but what they delivered was a masterclass in deception. They said that they'd show us the truth. Instead, we got jump cuts, voiceovers, and a video so doctored it belongs in a pharmaceutical trial. They said that they drained the swamp. Instead, they put on waders and drove in head first. And here's the question no one in conservative media wants to ask. What exactly happened to the Epstein list? Does it exist? Was it real? Was it ever going to be released? Trump's team swore that they had it. They teased, they played the game. And when the moment came to show their hand, they folded, lied about what they had, lied about what they didn't have and what they could release, lied to their own base, the people who trusted them. Bondi's excuse, that she was talking about the file and not a client list. Pathetic and an insult to the intelligence of the very people they rely on for votes and donations. Tell me if I'm wrong. And what about Bongino and Patel, the conspiracy crusaders who suddenly turned gatekeepers for the establishment? Please, you don't get to scream on about globalist cabals for 3 years and then pivot to leave it to the DOJ without people noticing. And Trump's response, are you still talking about this Jeffrey Epstein guy? Yes, Mr. President, we are. Because if you can't handle the question, if the truth about Epstein makes you squirm, then what exactly are you hiding? What are you protecting and who? This edited video nonsense is just the latest proof that these so-called warriors for truth are no different from the liars they replaced. When they say right from the source, it means cut, filtered, and approved. When they say transparency, they mean plausible deniability. When they say they're fighting for you, they mean making deals behind closed doors. The base is waking up, and it's about damn time because the rest of us already know. Trump and his circle don't care about the truth, they care about control, and they will sell you out the second you stop clapping for them. So here's the truth. The footage is doctored, the list is missing, the swamp creatures are laughing. They hate you because they hate themselves, and their hatred fuels this grotesque pageant of cruelty, from alligator Alcatraz to secret edits in Premiere Pro. And at some point you have to ask, is this even America anymore? They're replacing honest inquiry with algorithmic gaslighting, and they expect applause. Don't give it to them. So smash the subscribe button, share this everywhere because they want to censor us, throttle us, and erase us from the feed. They can snip a minute from prison footage, but they can't snip a million outraged citizens armed with the truth. So join us, because mainstream media is dead and the fight is just starting.